Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Thanks for tuning in again to the next episode in the series. I have honestly lost count, so this is probably five or six. I've been having a good amount of fun spewing some information at you guys and making progress here. So hopefully you guys are keeping up. If not, please reach out, dislike, comment, do whatever you need to get my attention. And if we need to have a further discussion, we most definitely can. But in the meantime, I would just most definitely appreciate a subscription to the channel, just because that's an easy and obvious metric to gain an understanding for success, or at least interest in the channel. So I plan to be sitting here and providing a whole lot of content moving forward for the foreseeable future. So hopefully go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and even click that little, whatever it is, that little bell button that they got now for notifications, just so you stay up to date and don't miss anything. Because if you haven't gotten the idea already, the channel kind of does move in a linear fashion. So, you don't really like to jump into a TV series, in the middle of a season, or, in the eighth of 15 seasons or something along those lines. You kind of want to see it through and see how everything builds. So, yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying this. And, again, I'm having a blast doing this for you. So we're going to go ahead and commit this here. We're going to say we introduced view binding to the project. We did that in the last episode. If you missed it, go ahead and check it out. And then and set up home fragment with it. Sure. Okay, so we're just gonna go ahead and commit. Keep this nice, so we can kind of save our progress, if you will. And so now at this point, why don't we just give this a run? We've been doing a whole bunch of stuff. You've been sticking with me along the way, and we haven't even seen the app yet. And we're good. All right. Well, we got a blank screen, ladies and gentlemen. So, if you couldn't have guessed why, or you're completely confused, yeah, sure, we've gone ahead and created this nav graph that explains things from one screen to the next. We've gotten our nav controller. We have in our nav graph the start destination set up as the home fragment, but the home fragment doesn't have anything in it. As you can see here, we've done nothing. This is basically the bare bones for a fragment that you need to actually do, as far as get your view binding set up, create it, null it out, etc. And then now we're ready to do something here. But as we said, we are trying to build an application that works off of this JSON file and translates this data into a list of attractions, or basically we're going to put it into some object that we're able to operate on, so that we can operate in our object-oriented mindset. And then we also need a UI. We need a recycler view. We need the view holders. We need all that kind of stuff here. So actually, what we're going to go ahead and do is add probably my favorite plugin in the entire world to this project. So if you do Command comma, it'll bring up this preferences screen, and here we can click on the plugins screen, and I already have it, of course. But you likely will only have the Kotlin one here. You probably will not have this one called JSON to, wow, it's getting cut off here. JSON to Kotlin data class. What I will want you to do is head over to the marketplace and type that in. Yeah, I guess if you just type JSON in, it'll work. And you're actually going to go ahead and install this. It's going to make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier, and is something that you should definitely get used to, or at least definitely know about, because it's just a very fast way to translate a JSON file into the response model or a particular data structure that you, or sorry, a particular model that you want, that we need. So once you go ahead and do that, you're gonna, I believe you'll be prompted to restart the IDE. So go ahead, get that installed, restart the IDE, get caught up to speed here again, and we will go ahead and take a look at this file. So assuming you have this Croatia.json file open, expand all of them here, we're going to just click anywhere, Command A to select all, Command C to copy, and then we're going to go over here into our data class, and we're going to go ahead and say, instead of creating a new class like this, or you'll see this little plugin here, Kotlin data class file from JSON. Beautiful. So it brings up this small little window. You can go ahead and paste this information in here. But before you do so, just want to at least show you my settings that you have here. Go ahead and pause the video at any moment, but keyword val type auto determine if it can be nullable or not from the JSON. Init with non-null. I'm actually going to change that right now because I want to init with the default. Annotation none, other, these guys, that, and then nothing here. So I just want to show you that, just so if you were wondering what my settings were, this is what it is. And then we're going to actually give this class a name. All right, well, here's the interesting thing. We don't need all of this, I apologize, because they all follow the same format, right? So really the only thing that I care about is one individual attraction. So I'm going to copy, Command A to select all, Command V to paste, then we can click format and it'll look nice. So the idea here is that, or sorry, the reason that I pasted the entire thing in before was I'm just used to, getting a JSON response, a sample response from a backend developer, and then popping it into here, and then it'll create the entire response model for you. But in this case, we really just want to translate this information here to a Kotlin data class. And although it's simple and it's small and you can do it yourself, you'll want to do it this way once you understand what's going on, because it's just a lifesaver. So much time saving. So once you have properly formatted JSON in here, and we're going to go ahead and name this an attraction class, and we will go ahead and click generate. It'll tell you that it's generated successfully, and as you can see here, we have our attraction file. And if we open this up, we now have a properly formatted attraction, or a properly formatted model that has all of the fields that we have defined here in each individual attraction object. We now have them defined as variables here. And so you can see it's actually even smart enough to know that location is an object, and it has a latitude and longitude fields within it that are strings. And so if you look at here, the attraction object has a location, which is an object, which is an internal object to this attraction class, and the lat and long are there. So it's just a very, very, very nifty way to just translate the data structure that it's going to be, or that you're going to receive, into a properly formatted class that you're going to be ready to go, or ready to use, right? So the idea here is that when the app boots up, we're actually going to go ahead and parse that file into a list of attractions, which will be this object here, and then we will have all of this junk here that's just, I don't know, it's nicely colored, but that's about it, set up in our code as a list of these data models that we can actually operate on, that we can then submit to an adapter, that we can then use to fuel each individual each individual view holder within the recycler view, and we're going to get some stuff on screen. So with this this setup in mind here, I'm going to go ahead and just create a little bit of layout stuff. I have a little bit of fun. I love making layout stuff, so I just feel like doing that first. We're going to make the view holder for the first screen, for the home screen. So we're just going to say view holder attraction. If you have no idea what I'm talking about view holder wise, go ahead and jump back. I believe it was season 2 where we discussed and made a sample application and showed off recycler view and view holder. But for those who do know what I'm talking about, welcome back. And we need to change our height to be wrap content again because we are not, we're setting this in a list that's going to be scrolling vertically, so we don't want each view holder to take up the entire screen. We just want it to take up the room that it actually needs. So if we take a look back at the data here, this is what we're going to have to fuel our UI. So it's always a good idea to take a look at the data that's present before you start getting into the UI, because at the end of the day, you need this information to populate the UI. So you might as well work in a direction that makes sense. So I'm going to go ahead and make up a little UI that could kind of encompass a lot, maybe not all of it, but a lot of this information that's present, because we will have a detailed screen. So we're going to go ahead and just get that. There might be a little bit more information at that point. So. Okay, so welcome back, guys. Thank you for sticking with me. We've gone ahead and just created a primitive layout file here. We got a title that's going to span the entire width of the view holder with a little bit of margin on either side to just bump it off. We got a big header image that's going to be, the main display image. We got a little text view here. The one thing I'm going to talk about this is that you can actually put, drawables at the beginning, on top, to the right, or on the bottom of the text here, and you can change how far the text is from there, with this padding attributes. You can see that it's quite far away. You can see when you hover over it that it has this entire, the bounding box there. But we're just going to leave it at 8 because that seems pretty fine. And then just a little image view here to just kind of signify that, hey, you can click on it and we're going to go somewhere kind of thing. If you saw, I opened the resource manager and I went in here and vector asset, clicked on the clip art and found some assets there from the Google material icons. So they're just imported here. If you missed or you don't understand that, it was covered in a previous video as well, or a previous season. But otherwise, if you've built a layout before, you've watched me build a layout before, specifically a view holder, this should seem pretty common or a pretty straightforward practice. It's pretty bare bones at the moment. We might add some other things, in the future to this. I definitely have some ideas, especially on the detail view, but we can get into some really nice things here depending upon how the images work out, and maybe we can start to spruce some certain things up and whatnot. But just wanted to get this view holder here. So then if we go ahead and take a look at this guy, we can say, now the tools, I think it's list item is going to be view holder that, and then item count, let's do 5. You can see here actually at the bottom this thing is getting cut off here, so I believe that's because we do not have our clip to padding was not set to false. So it kind of got in the way there, but now we get this whole screen view, if you will. I guess we're just gonna put a little margin at we'll do a little padding at the bottom of 18 dp, and let's see. Yeah, that kind of separates it a little bit. Or nah, we'll leave it as is. We'll play with it when we get into the code. Maybe we'll just add a little item decoration in between there and stuff like that. But as you can see here, the layout is starting to come together. I want to see if that'll... So maybe this either needs to refresh or... Okay, yeah, so you can see it there. Come on. I don't know why that view is not working, but now you can see that the layout is starting to kind of come together a little bit here as far as you know, the small preview. And I'm sure maybe after just like a little build or something, yeah, there we go. Once it kind of updates itself, it will the layout will look the way that it should. So we have our view holder here. We have the attraction again. Uh, we built the UI off of this information, so we can go ahead and create our recycler view in the next video, or sorry, the adapter in the next video, and kind of get this attraction going in there, setting things up, and for once getting something on screen that's meaningful. So thank you for sticking with me. I really appreciate it. I hope you're learning something, and I hope that you're a bit interested in where this can go. I got some pretty nifty things that I'm going to try to pull off, some little tricks up my sleeve, some little UI enhancements here and there, and at the end of the day, the bread and butter comes down to, you know, your app is only going to be as good as your data. So to have some reasonably thought out data here, to have some little notes on the side of things that we can add down the road. I am very, very, very excited to encompass so much in this season. Maybe even publish this application for you in the future, show you how to go from file, new project, all the way to getting it on the App Store and downloading it on your own device. I think that would be a wonderful way to kind of put a bow on all of this that we've done so far. So like I said, stick with it. We got a whole lot of information coming your way, a whole lot of really practical concepts, libraries, cutting edge stuff that Google's pushing for as well. So don't miss a beat, and I will catch you in the next one.